Good morning. Happy Tuesday and welcome to another think tank. So welcome our family of offices and all of the agents. For those of you who haven't met me, I am Olivier Lewis, broker owner of the Cranford office. And every Tuesday, I love covering a topic as a think tank. So please interact, comment, smash that like button if you like the content. Any questions around it, any feedback, your opinion matters and your voice counts. So please share. Let's make it as interactive as possible, as I appreciate the feedback from you guys. So today I'm going to cover video CMAs. Video CMAs became very, very popular during the pandemic when we needed inventory and we were not touching and face-to-face with a lot of people. But guess what, guys? What do we still need? Inventory. We still need inventory. So we should not move away from video CMAs. And I know many of us are camera shy. I don't know why, but we are camera shy and we have stage fright to turning on the camera and recording the CMA to then send to the client. So I am going to share with you a very simple way to deliver a professional video CMA quickly. And this takes 30 seconds. And it doesn't involve you being live on camera. So for those of you out there that are seeing this on Facebook or YouTube, not those of you in here, you can see now I am sharing Remax Hustle. If you go to remaxhustle.com, and bear with me one moment, guys, I actually want to rewind this. If you go to remaxhustle.com, you can create these amazing video CMAs this way, and there's a lot of different templates of how to do it. But this, I use the office, your house at 409 North Avenue East, Cranford, USA. Would you buy the same house all over again? Right? So it's a nice little booklet, brochure, has your name, has the branding. They hit play, and you can download this and text it. You take the photos from their old listing. I took the photos from our office. There's a lot of different key features you could talk about, transit, lots of storage, location. And at the end, you have this where you can type in whatever message you want. So I put, would you buy the same house all over again? Question mark. Your home is now worth $500,000 to $550,000. Now might be a great time to sell. Call me today. Guys, I took photos that are, for this example, stock photos of our office, but you just pull the photos from their old listing. You upload your headshot. You type in whatever message and whatever valuation you have, and you send it. And it's a quick and easy way to do a video CMA that doesn't involve you getting in front of the camera if you are camera shy. I do suggest, if you can, make it a little more personal and get on camera, go live, and send them the text or email, preferably text or DM, saying, hey, Kareem, your home, you purchased your home in 2020. Now the home is worth $550,000 to $575,000. If you want an exact number, I will come in and give you an exact number. Let me see what you've done with the home. I wouldn't give them an exact number. I like to give a range because you don't know what they've done to the home that's changed, and you want to have the conversation. So maybe instead of $550,000 to $575,000, I would say $550,000 to $600,000 for an exact. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. But there's a lack of inventory. So let's go get some inventory. We also know the NAR studies that it was roughly about 70% of buyers that bought during the pandemic were disappointed with their home purchases because they were rushed. There was no inventory. They felt like they overbid, right? So we know if they're disappointed, there's an opportunity with the appreciation we've had, which has been the most we've had in 10 years in that short period of time, that, hey, this is a good time to sell. And if you're doing that, you're going to have less of an inventory problem. So video CMAs are something we should keep in our repertoire and keep in our business strategy to continue to do. It's a great touch with your client. It's the biggest asset they have. And who doesn't want to know that my asset is appreciating? And most clients have no clue, the ones that bought in 2019, 2020, or whenever they purchased their home, that their homes could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars more now, just like that. And they're not paying attention. They're not getting appraisals. They're not looking at it online every day. So it's our message to get it out there because of the lack of inventory. Many people will move up or move down. Many people bought homes in 2020 thinking, great, I'm going to work from home forevermore. And now they're being called back to the office and they need to go back to commuting. So that location, whether they went to South Jersey or West or went into the mountains, because that's where they really want to live. Now they're having to go back to the city, whether it's Jersey City or New York, and they're going to have to get a commuter-friendly house. Or the opposite, someone that moved to the city and now their family changed, work changed, job changed, and they need to move to the suburbs. People are always moving. There's always transactions. When you check the hot sheet, people are always buying and selling. So go get the inventory. One of the simple ways is using your past client and just giving them video CMAs. Super, super simple. I like Remax Hustle because for those that are camera shy and when you want to do it quick, it's super simple to just upload the photos. It's already built out and you can share it. There's multiple ways you can share it right from there. It's easy to download on your phone. You can knock out a bunch of these, but look at your past clients. And if you haven't given them an updated CMA, that's a very professional way to do it and deliver it. And it's painless. So any questions on that for anyone in here? Go ahead.
I have a question. So this is just probably like on the spot and it may be a think tank in the future for us to do. A lot of agents oversold properties in the 2020, right? During the pandemic.
What do you mean by oversold?
Well, they encourage their buyers to waive appraisals and, waive inspections and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
So a lot of these agents, and luckily for me, out of all the clients I sold to, I only 2 of them, and I have it in writing. You want it, you're overpaying. I'm advising you not to.
Got it.
You overpaid for the home, but I have to put it in writing, right? I'm against it, but that's what you guys want.
Yep.
And it only happened to me twice during the pandemic. However, a lot of these agents that did not think about that, or, now here they are in 2022, they're reaching out, 23, they're reaching out to these past clients and they're saying, hey, how are you? Just checking in with you. And they're like, hey, you oversold me this home. I hate it. I overpaid. I did this. I did that. I want to move, but do they want to use you now? Or do they want to go somewhere else because they think or blame you for it? In most cases, it's not our fault. I'm sure the agent gave them full disclosure, but they're not going to remember that, right? Because it's a financial and emotional experience for them. What advice would you give to agents who maybe are reaching out to their clients who actually do regret their purchase?
Got it. So Kareem brings up a good question in case you guys couldn't hear. If you sold a home during the pandemic and the client waived everything or paid over the appraised value by the 40, 50 grand, all these numbers that were thrown out, and you call them and they're blaming you because they're unhappy with their purchase, how do you handle that?
I think honestly, a lot of it comes back down to being the person to revisit the value, right?
Right.
So now they're a little mad at you, but a lot of people will assume that they're stuck. We overpaid for this house, now we're stuck here for 30 years. It's not true. We know this. So even we talked about rates the other day are actually pretty decent. Mm-hmm. So if I'm the one to come to you and say, hey, listen, I just wanted you to know the value in your house. Now you have some equity, we could do some stuff, we could refinance. That's showing value that you give a crap outside of the sale that you did, right? That maybe they were unhappy with. So
sure. It's
revisiting value and providing that you still care, which is a lot of agents, let's face it, they close the deal and never talk to them again.
Correct.
So I think that's going to be a key point in my brain, at least. Right. It's like, listen, let me come back and be like, hey, listen, we can refinance, we can get you some money.
Here's your options.
We can be here, but I'm still here for you. I didn't disappear once that check cleared.
Right.
To me, that's what I would think.
So Coach Blake says, brings up a very good point, that you are checking in, you didn't leave them high and dry. And the fact that you're calling and providing the video CMA and following up and trying to be a resource, you're here to help. So there's plenty of options. Rates are down. You can refinance. You can sell the home. Let's look at the numbers. To your point, sometimes it's a break even. Sometimes they're still profitable.
Right.
And hey, sometimes if they have to walk away, bringing some money to the table or leaving some money on the table, let's solve it and help you move on. Ultimately, it comes down to exactly what you said. I ditto 100% of that. You're still here to help.
Right.
And the market was the market. You needed to move, and that's the market. We can't all time it. We bought during the market, in the market that we were in. The great news is we're in a different market now where maybe you make more money. Mm-hmm. Let's look at that. Or if you're breaking even or even losing a little bit, maybe the prices are better for you on the purchase, where you're not waiving everything this time around and you're not overpaying above the appraisal. And the rates were much better then.
Look at your monthly payment.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Yes, you paid over the appraisal, but the payment balanced out because you were at a 2-something or 3% rate. So ultimately, you could afford the payment. And listen, you got a bank appraisal. We did an inspection because they're not waiving the inspection. They do it for informational purposes only. So it wasn't a terrible scenario. It's just the market we were in. That's what it called for to get a home, or you would not be getting a home. And the alternative is you would have paid maybe not the same payment you were making, but for the last 2-3 years, you would have been paying that to someone else. You got tax benefits from property taxes, interest deductions, and you got to live in a home that you owned. So now we're going to take that equity and roll it over and figure out the next solution. It's not the same market. You're in a better position as a buyer now. And that's it. You just have to believe, like my video yesterday, you are helping them. So be confident in your delivery that you are helping them. You didn't create that market. You didn't force them to do it. It's the market that they were in. Everything had 50 offers. People were waiving everything. And if you tried it 10 times and you couldn't get a deal accepted, you have no choice, or you just were not going to get a home done.
I think there's a lot of people, they know that they made an emotional decision. Like I bought a house in the middle of the pandemic, and I waived inspection. I waived all contracts. I wanted the house. And I've been in real estate for a long time. I should have known better, but I wanted it. And I got in, the hot water blew up, lost track, blew up, everything blew up. It was fine. But like, I wasn't mad at, real estate. I knew I made an emotional decision and I went in. So I think a lot of people are more open to the conversation than you think.
And that's true too.
And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make those calls, because
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I'm actually doing my calls now, reaching out to everyone for the new year and just checking in with them. Luckily, no one's regret their purchase. So I'm throwing out there, listen, if you want to know what it's worth, if you gain any equity or whatever, I'll, run comps. I'll get you in contact with the bank for options on refi, things like that. But yeah, I get it. In most cases, buyers will understand it was a different type of market. We all thought the end was coming pretty soon.
Yeah. Not only that, you couldn't get an offer accepted because everything had 20 offers with a lack of inventory, and people were, giving their firstborn to get a house. It's like, here's my 401k with my offer. You could have everything I own. So that's the market we were in. So I think keep reaching out. There's going to be a lot more good news than bad news, where they're going to have equity and they're going to be in a better position. And now that you've owned your first home, you really know what you're looking for on your second. And I'm here to help. That's why I'm calling. I didn't just leave you high and dry, and whatever I can do. And hey, if it's a refinance and renovate or do an addition or make some changes to the house, let's look at that. Whatever the best scenario is for you, I'm here to help.
I think that is the only belief, that they're going to yell at me. They're gonna talk to me. And you really would be shocked. You call some people like, hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I know. So I brought it in because I know one agent I did run into that works at another brokerage. I ran into them at the gym yesterday, and they mentioned to me that they asked me how business is going. I said, my business is great. I said, this is wintertime business, less buyers, but more serious. And he asked me if I was reaching out to past clients. I said, yeah, I reach out to them. I try to do at least 5 to 10 a week. It's my goal. And even people who purchased with me years ago, right? And he had mentioned to me that he had an upset client that was upset with him because they overpaid the house $30,000. Waived everything, and they're not going to see that money back. They actually did a CMA, came back not what they paid for it, which was expected when you overpaid by 30.
When you went 30 above the appraisal,
right? And and he's like, I feel bad, and I said, well, at this point, all you could do is just let them know you're here, and just remind them the situation that you guys are in back in those days. It was an emotional purchase that was
the market, and eventually it's going to catch up.
Eventually,
it's going to catch up. It's not for 30 years they're underwater. It's going to catch up, and if they don't have a need to move, it's phantom equity that it doesn't matter because you're not moving.
Almost any township, if you look back at 5 years ago, what the average home price was to now. So you overpaid $30,000. Okay, so it's going to take you a minute to catch up, right? But at the end of the day, you never really lose money because historically real estate always is on incline, even though we say
With
prices
inflation, it will
and
go
down.
up. Yeah.
Right.
But over 5 years, over 10 years, I mean, yeah, you'll catch up.
Yeah. If they don't need to move, they shouldn't be worried about it.
Right. I told them, come to my brokerage and you'll find out what to do.
Exactly. And I'll leave you guys with one thing. This was actually a conversation we had about 2 years ago about past clients with you direct, where you were going to postcard your you were going to do a mailer campaign. So I asked him, I said, well, what do you think the relationship is like from their perspective, your past clients, of how they view their agent, their realtor once they close? And he's like, oh, they want to be my friend. When I give my pies for Thanksgiving, they invite me in. I'm there for a half hour. They think it's a friendship thing. I said, yeah, they no longer consider themselves a lead, nor had they ever considered themselves a lead, really. But they think you're friends. When have you ever postcard your friends? And you started laughing and you were like, aha.
Yeah.
So you got to call.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it. You guys know
the calls work.
The calls work.
It works.
You know there's business there. And if there's an issue to be addressed, I think that there's very few that will bark at you. And then it's educating them on the market and it's a conversation. But you have way more upside and business to gain by making the call than maybe 1% is really going to be upset. Right. And if so, you learn, you address it. It's a learning experience. Right. Have the conversation. So that's all I have. If no other questions, we're going to wrap up. Thanks for the comments. Someone's going to do this. Very cool. I appreciate it. If you guys have any topics you want to discuss, please let me know. And thanks for tuning in. Take care.
Take the